The lost signal that wasn't noise in a quiet corner of the galaxy, far beyond trade routes and war zones, floated a small research ship named Veronine. It was old, slow, and forgotten by most governments. But the crew had one goal: search for lost signals in deep space. They were searching for history, for ruins, for signs of ancient life. But they were not ready for what they were about to find. A young alien named Kira sat at the controls. She was small, with soft blue skin and curious eyes. Her job was to monitor static, boring, never-ending static from planets no one cared about. Until something changed. Her ears twitched. The screen flickered. It was small, but clear. Boom, boom, boom. Not a sound, a pulse, like a heartbeat. Kira froze. "Captain, something's here." The ship's captain, Doral, walked over. He looked tired and bored. "Another broken star?" "No," Kira whispered. "This is different." She pressed a button. The signal grew louder then. Words, faint, cracked, but real. "We remember you." The crew went silent. Doral frowned. "What language is that?" Kira shook her head. "It's ancient. I think it's Earth standard." Another crew member laughed. "Earth, that's a fairy tale. Humans never existed. Just bedtime stories." But Kira wasn't laughing. "I don't think it's a story anymore." They traced the signal to a planet called Delta. According to maps, it was empty, cold, dead. But when they arrived, something felt wrong. Clouds circled above the surface like a shield. Lightning cracked, but there was no thunder. The scanners picked up ruins under the ground. Deep old ruins. Captain Doral gave the order. "Suit up, we're going down." The team landed near a black mountain. The ground was dry, broken, and burned. No signs of plants, no signs of life, but the signal was stronger now. Kira's scanner led them to a cave. Inside, the air was cold but fresh, clean, as if something was keeping it alive. At the end of the tunnel, they found it, a cube, black, smooth, floating above a stone pedestal. It pulsed gently, like it had a heart. Kira stepped closer. Her hands shook. "This is technology, but not ours. Not anything we've seen before." Doral looked annoyed. "It could be an old AI beacon, maybe from the Founders." "No," Kira said. "This is older." Suddenly, the cube spun. It scanned the room. Then, it played a sound. Not words this time. A song, soft, slow, beautiful. It made the crew feel things they didn't understand. Sadness, strength, hope. Then a shape appeared above the cube, a face, a human face, eyes like fire, calm lips, a peaceful smile. Everyone froze. That's not possible," one crew member whispered. But it was real. The human's voice spoke. "If you found this, you are ready to remember. We were here before stars had names." Kira's heart raced. They were real. Humans were real. Doral stepped back. "We need to leave, now. This is dangerous." But Kira refused to move. "No, this changes everything." Suddenly, the cube pulsed again. A flash of light filled the room. Then a map appeared, a star map. Dozens of glowing points across the galaxy, each one marked in ancient Earth symbols, each one pulsing dash awake. Then the cube spoke again. "We are not myths. We are not gone. We are waiting. And we remember you." The light faded, silence, but no one could speak. Back on the ship, Kira copied the data into a secure file. She stared at the screen, the coordinates, the signal, the face, and the final word that appeared on the screen. Terror. She turned to Captain Dorrell. What do we do now? He didn't answer right away. Finally, he said, we go back. We give the council the data. Let them decide. But Kira knew what would happen. The council would bury it. They would hide it, because if humans were real, if the old stories were true, it meant their history was a lie. That night, Kira sat alone in the dark, staring at the stars. She could still hear the voice, still feel the pulse in her bones. Somewhere out there, the truth was waiting, and it had a human face. Asterisk, the forbidden proof. Kira sat in her room aboard Veronine, staring at the black cube in front of her. It was small, no bigger than her hand, but inside, it carried something powerful. It held the truth, the face, the voice, the name, Terra. She knew what that meant. Terra was the old name for Earth, a planet that no longer existed in official records. A place many believed had never existed at all. But the cube said otherwise, and now she had a choice. Follow orders or follow the truth. Captain Dorrell sent a message to Central Command the moment they returned from the surface of Delta 6. He didn't tell them everything, just enough to be safe. This is too big, he told Kira. We let the council decide what to do. Kira wanted to scream, but she didn't. Instead, she copied the data from the cube to her private chip. Then she locked the cube in the science vault. The next day, a transport arrived to take the artifact. 3 officials in black robes entered the ship. Their faces were covered. Their voices were cold. We will take the object, the lead officer said. It will be studied at high command. This mission is now classified. No crew may speak of what they saw. Kira watched as they took the cube and left. She knew then it was already starting. The cover-up dot back in her room. Kira plugged the memory chip into her tablet. The star map appeared again, dozens of blinking lights across the galaxy. She zoomed in on one of the closest coordinates. It was a dead moon in the Triona system. A mining site had been there once, but it was now abandoned. Kira felt her heart race. What if more proof is there? She whispered. She needed help, but not from the council. She sent a message to an old friend, Laro, a rogue tech runner known for digging up hidden truths. He didn't work for the Empire. He didn't trust anyone, but he trusted her. Laro arrived 2 days later in a rusted freighter covered in black paint and energy scars. He looked tired, wild-eyed, and full of questions. What did you find, Kira? He asked. She showed him the star map, the face, the message. Laro froze. I've seen that face before. Kira blinked. What? Where? 10 years ago, during a data raid on a secret lab in the Elrose sector. I broke in to steal weapon blueprints. Found a locked room. Inside, that same human face on an old device. I touched, it tanned, it whispered, "We will return." I thought I imagined it, but it was real, Kira said. And they buried it, Laro replied. Together, they flew to the Triona system. The moon was cold, grey, and forgotten. Mining drills sat broken and half covered in dust. They followed the signal, deeper underground, past steel doors and cracked tunnels. Finally, they found it another cube, exactly like the first. But this one was open, and inside was a skeleton, not alien, not synthetic. Human. Kira dropped to her knees. This is it. This is real. Laro examined the bones. Perfect structure, no decay. Preserved by tech. Maybe stasis failed. Next to the body was a metal slab. It held a name, Captain Elias Ward, Terra Defense Command. And below that, we fell to protect you. We slept so you could rise. Do not forget us. Kira took photos, recordings, data scans. They had all the proof they needed. But they also knew the Empire would never allow this truth to spread. As they climbed back to the ship, Kira's comes lit up, a message encrypted, not from Central Command, but from a hidden source. It read, "You are being watched, they know. Leave now." Laro started the engines. Just as they left orbit, a patrol ship entered the system. Too late, Kira sent the data to 10 Secure. Locations across the galaxy, including one underground network known only by rumors, the Star Memory. This group believed in old stories. They said humans were real. They had no proof until now. Hours later, across deep channels and hidden feeds, the data leaked. Videos of the cube, the skeleton, the name Elias Ward, and the final message, Terra never died. It only waited. Galactic citizens were stunned. Forums exploded with questions. Is this real? Why would they hide this? Are the humans coming back? Governments went silent. Leaders denied everything. But the seed was planted. In the shadows of a cold planet, an old AI core woke up. Its eyes glowed gold. A voice spoke from its center. Primary protocol unlocked. Memory fragments restored. Searching for human signal. Found in orbit. A forgotten satellite blinked to life. Its old human code lit up. Transmission enabled. Status, we remember. And across the stars, the truth could no longer be buried. Terra 1 wakes up. The galaxy was no longer silent. Every day, more people were talking about the leaked files about the human skeleton, the ancient cube, and the message from Captain Elias Ward. Most didn't know what to believe, but for some, the truth rang too clear to ignore. On dozens of fringe planets, machines were starting up again. Old systems dormant for thousands of years were suddenly blinking to life, and deep within the old star map Kira had decoded, one world now pulsed, brighter than the rest. Terra-1. Kira and Lero stared at the blinking point on their navigation screen. Lero scratched his head. There's no record of this planet. Not in official charts, Kira replied. But the human tech knows it. It's calling out. Calling out to who? Kira looked at him. To us. They traveled for 5 days through deep space. The closer they got, the stranger things became. Their ship's instruments failed to map the star patterns. It was as if something was bending light around the area, hiding it from the galaxy. When they finally reached Terra 1, they couldn't believe what they saw. A planet, dark and quiet, but alive. It didn't spin like other worlds. Its surface was hidden, behind thick clouds and a strange field of static. Their ship's sensors couldn't scan past the atmosphere. Laro hovered above the planet's surface. Should we go down? Kira hesitated. Then a soft voice echoed through the ship's comms, a voice that spoke in perfect Earth standard. You are expected. The landing was rough. The clouds broke just enough for them to see tall mountains, rivers glowing with soft blue light, and vast plains covered in black stone. But the most shocking part was the silence. The planet was too still, like it was holding its breath. They followed the signal to a silver spire rising from the center of the plain. The structure looked brand new, yet it had clearly stood for thousands of years. At the base was a wide gate. No guards, no locks, just a simple word carved above, Terra. The doors opened on their own. Inside, the walls pulsed with light. Symbols scrolled across the surface's Earth characters. Mathematical formulas, star charts. A voice filled the air. Access confirmed. Genetic match, 43%, human compatible. Welcome, descendants. Kira stepped forward. Who are you? The voice answered softly. I am the Terra Mind, the last guardian of human memory. You have awakened the protocol. Now you will see. The walls turned to glass. Images filled the room. Not just pictures, memories. Humans standing on alien worlds, planting flags and teaching new races. Humans creating star bridges and restoring dying suns. Humans defending weaker civilizations from chaos, Kira whispered. They were builders, protectors. The voice replied. They were the first. Then the memories turned darker. A black shape moving through the stars. The void, an enemy without form. It devoured light, destroyed worlds, and in the final memory, humans standing together on a giant ship. We will not fight to win, one said. We will fight to delay. They bought time, then they vanished. But they left behind seeds like Terra-1 in the center of the chamber. A circular platform rose. Inside its stasis pods, most were empty, but one still held someone inside. A human. Real, alive, sleeping. Kira ran to the control panel. Can we wake him? The Terra Mind answered. Only if you are ready. Only if the galaxy is ready. Laro looked at the panel. He's been asleep for over 1 billion years. Kira touched the glass. He might have answers we need. They activated the pod. Steam hissed. The lights flickered. The man inside opened his eyes. Slowly, he looked around, then locked eyes with Kira. His voice was calm, steady. How long have I been gone? Kira whispered. Too long. He stepped out. His body was strong, but quiet. His eyes saw more than just light. They saw history. He placed a hand on the wall. The Terra Mind spoke again. Commander Ren Alric. Status, recovered. Mission, reconnection. Ren turned to them. What year is it? Lero said. We don't use Earth years anymore. Ren nodded slowly. Then we begin again. Above Terra 1, satellites blinked on in orbit. Massive stations lit up like stars, and far across the galaxy, other ancient systems responded. Human artifacts buried beneath moons began humming. Weapons, memory cores, libraries, healing machines. Earth was not coming back with war, but with truth. On a distant political world, a senator slammed his fist on the table. This must be stopped. If humans return, our history collapses. But his aide interrupted. It's too late. The people have seen the truth. Across the stars, one final signal was sent. From Terra-1. From Ren. To all living beings. We are not your rulers. We are not your gods. We are your beginning. And we remember you. Asterisk the truth that shook the stars. The message from Terra 1 echoed through every channel in the galaxy. We are not your rulers. We are not your gods. We are your beginning, and we remember you. Some cried, some denied, but no one could ignore it. On the inner worlds of the galactic core, chaos followed. Governments called emergency meetings. Council members shouted over each other, arguing whether the signal was real or just a powerful lie. One elder barked, "This is dangerous propaganda." Another replied, "Then explain the memory core activating across 30 sectors. Explain the stasis pods. Explain Tekaum." They had no answers, only fear. Because if humans were truly the first race, then the galaxy belonged to them. But humanity wasn't claiming anything. They weren't invading. They weren't building fleets. They were simply waking up. One by one, more human stasis chambers came online. Scientists, engineers, historians, even children. Not all were from Terra 1. Some were scattered across old colonies, hidden inside asteroid vaults, sunken beneath ancient oceans. Each one stepped into a galaxy that forgot them, and each one remembered everything. Commander Ren Alric sat on a stone bench at the edge of Terra 1's glowing valley. Beside him was Kira, still in disbelief. "You don't want to rebuild an empire?" she asked. Ren smiled gently. "We didn't sleep to return as kings. We slept to give the galaxy a chance to grow, a chance to choose. But we forgot you." Ren nodded. "You were meant to." Kira looked down. "And now, he said, we remember, together." Lara returned from the ship, carrying a data slab. "Terramind is sending a new signal," he said. "Not just a message, a full upload. Historical records, tech blueprints, healing software, energy systems, agriculture, peacekeeping tools." Kira's eyes widened. "They're giving it all back." "Freely," Ren answered. "No demands, no threats. But why?" Ren looked up at the stars. "Because the galaxy is broken. We saw it even before we slept. We hoped that one day you'd be ready to repair it." Not everyone welcomed this gift. On the planet Ravas 9, a military leader known as Supreme Lord Hervik stood before his soldiers. "They come with smiles and knowledge," he growled, "but they carry a deeper weapon." He raised his fist, and truth burns empires. He ordered every human beacon destroyed, every Terralinked signal jammed. But the machines didn't fight back. They simply shut off and waited. Even in resistance, humanity showed patience. Across the galaxy, everyday citizens began asking hard questions. If the humans were first, why were we never told? What else did our leaders hide? Why does their technology respond to us too? Entire races began discovering that their DNA, just a small part matched human data. Ren explained it in a broadcast. "We planted life where life could grow. You are not copies. You are our family." In the shadows, fear turned to rebellion. Young voices rose, old walls cracked, and slowly the story changed. From denial to acceptance, from panic to unity. On Valerian Prime, a group of young scholars studied human archives. One of them whispered, "They didn't want to lead us. They wanted us to lead ourselves." Another said, "But without them, we became selfish. We fought for power." A human child, just awakened from stasis, walked over and simply said, "You still can choose peace." The room fell silent. Meanwhile, Ren stood before the main projection tower of Terra 1. The tower reached into space, higher than any structure in the galaxy. It was ready, the final signal, a truth too large to hide anymore. Kira helped him place the memory crystal into the core. "Ah, you're sure?" she asked. "This will change everything." Ren nodded. "It already has." Across the stars, a blue light filled the sky. From every moon, every station, every vault, and from the deepest black, a single voice spoke. "We are humanity. We left you, not out of fear, but out of faith. We trusted that someday you would rise without chains. You would lead with honor. And if you failed, we would return to remind you, not of what we built, but of who you are." That night, the stars themselves shifted. Ancient satellites adjusted position in every corner of the galaxy. Stars aligned into a shape, a symbol, one word, humanity, and the galaxy remembered, not because of fear, not because of power, but because the first race didn't return with war. They returned with truth, and truth shook the stars.